good day, which is like unusual around these parts.
It's probably because you get to see me for the first time in a week.
That actually made my day worse. Anyways.
Feeling the love.
I just told you what happened, but I'll tell all of our listeners. So Cordell Patterson on the Bears, whatever. He's cool, I guess. I'm not a Bears fan, obviously. He does this video every week where he's like, how about them Bears? And then he runs away, whatever. So he asked people on Twitter, like, asked fans to recreate it, and, like, the ones he liked the most, he would send game-worn gloves to. So Brendan, the on-air editor here, and our other roommate, JJ, huge Bears fans, so they made a video posted on Twitter. Both of them posted it. Nothing really happened. So me being a great friend, I decided to post it on my account and at Cordell, and I'm like, and I said something like, please notice my friends so they didn't interrupt my lunch for nothing, because I was trying to eat lunch while they made me record it. Surprise, surprise. Today, just like before I came here, I'm looking at Twitter and I have a notification by my DMs. I'm like, oh, it's probably someone DMing me for a story that I was looking for. And I go to the request and it's Cordell Patterson. I was like, whoa. Brendan was gone. I run into JJ's room and he's like, what? Like, he was so mad because I just busted open his door and I just showed him my phone and he starts like screaming. Basically, he DM'd me and was just like, tell them, great video, send me your address so I can send some gloves out. So if everything else works out, Brennan and JJ are about to get Cordell Patterson's game-worn gloves. Thanks partly to me. Partly.
I will say it's pretty cool.
It is really cool. I'm happy for
I'm proud of the boys. I'm proud of my friends, Brendan and JJ. Mm-hmm. That's about all I have to say about it. So yeah. I guess that's pretty cool.
It's cool. I don't really care about the gloves. I just think it's cool. He DM'd me.
I think it's more, I agree. If I were there, I'd be more like honored that he's actually sending me something than just like, getting the gloves.
Yeah, the gloves don't matter, but the fact that he noticed our video.
The gloves are kind of pretty gross. Like just some big, strong dude, sweaty hands. I don't think I'd put them on. Maybe I don't know. I
was talking to my dad and I was like, I think I should ask him if he has Juju's number to send me. Like, I should get something out of this, right? Like,
what do you think he's going to say? Oh, yeah, Gabby, here's his number. Like,
well, I'm obviously joking. I wasn't actually.
Maybe he'll give you his Snapchat.
Yeah.
Actually, you probably have him on Snapchat. Yeah,
he's like a public figure or whatever. Either way, really cool. Just a cool Bears story, I guess. I like the Bears, whatever. He doesn't need to tell that. Cordell, if you're listening, I love the Bears. Okay. Let's do a little Bachelorette talk.
Yeah, go for it.
You're listening live to the WPGU 107.1 Illini Drive Bachelor Insider Certified. I'm certified, if you didn't know.
Certified? Who gave you that title?
Brendan.
Oh, Brendan did.
It's pretty legit.
Oh, okay.
Self-certified. You can do it online, whatever. It's like when you can marry people. What's that called?
Oh, ordained. I'm ordained.
Okay, well, I'm ordained in Bachelorette.
Okay, a little disclaimer here. I said last week that I would begin to watch on Tuesdays. I wasn't on the show Tuesday because I was under the weather. For those that...
Not COVID.
I don't have COVID. I have 3 negatives in the last 5 days. It's a very common cold. I get sick at the same time every year. So I didn't get to watch again Tuesday. So I failed 2 weeks in a row.
Big air quotes sick because, of course, he was sick on Bachelorette Tuesday. Whatever.
But yeah, go and give it. Hey, tell me I'm the audience here. Fill me in.
Forcing him against his will next Tuesday.
It's not against my will. I'm happy to. I'm going to get some spicy nuggets from McDonald's, roll over to your apartment. It's going to be a good time.
Okay. You still owe me Dunkin' or Starbucks, by the way, for the recap.
It hasn't been written yet.
Okay. Anyways, Bachelorette aired yesterday. Episode 2 of this horrid season. It gets worse. Mm-hmm. How do you say? How can it get worse when, Gabby, you said it was so bad last week? Okay, let's get into it. Real quick.
Can I give you a time limit?
3 minutes. So, are you listening? You have to listen, Josh.
I am listening. Why wouldn't I be?
So, she takes the first group date. It's whatever. Dale is actually on the first group date, which is shocking. Dale's the one that she ends up with. We all know this. Not a spoiler, because she ends her season in like 4 weeks in, whatever. He's surprisingly on the group date. I thought she'd pick him to go on the first one-on-one. No, on the group date. Group date is weird. she's like really not trying to hide that she is the most interested in Dale, which is really awkward for the other guys. And they kind of like look at her at some points. They're like, what's going on? Whatever. Then the one-on-one comes with, dude, I don't even know his name. I don't even know this guy's name. And he revealed, they were trying to open up to each other. He revealed some really like personal things, like about how his parents are still married, but he thinks they should probably have been divorced by now. Like, I would not want that. If I were those parents, they're probably sitting there together, married. Like, what the heck is he talking about? So that was a little weird. She also tries to make everything deeper than it needs to be. And she's a very confident woman, rightfully so. She's been through a lot of things, so I'm glad she's confident. But sometimes she's a little too confident. She ends up sending this guy home because he basically didn't watch her previous seasons and didn't know anything really about her. And she got offended by that he hadn't like pre-researched everything about her. Sent him home. Really weird. I didn't like that part. Fast forward, second group date of the night. Even weirder. Strip dodgeball. But they weren't informed that it was strip dodgeball. So it was very borderline, like, kind of weird. The guys didn't really want to do it. And Claire, the bachelorette, she was all excited for it.
Claire's 39, right?
Yeah. It was a little weird. If roles were reversed, it would have been a huge, huge problem. Some people on Twitter were like, this is kind of weird. I don't know. The Bachelorette, Bachelor, they do some weird things. It's just awkward. It was an awkward group date. I felt really uncomfortable watching it. And me and Brendan were just looking at each other like, what is going on? Whatever. She ends up like spending the last like 20 minutes of her cocktail party before she had the rose ceremony like all over Dale again. Just weird. Like, just move on already. Like, and the fact that she's not even trying to give these other guys attention, like, this is the point of the show. So I don't know. I don't like Claire at all. I can't wait for her to be gone. I can't wait for them to bring Tayshia in. But you're really not missing much, Josh. It's just a lot of weird stuff. Unnecessary.
So are you suggesting here that I wait until week 5 to start watching, Gabby?
No, because you need to, like, understand the dynamic of the guys.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
week 3 you're watching. That's my Bachelor recap.
All right. Very good. I am excited for Tuesday, but Gabby, I'm much more excited tomorrow because to get into the sports part of the show, into sports news, we, specifically you, have a game to cover tomorrow night.
I do.
Illinois is finally playing. We made it. Almost.
Almost. We're almost there.
24 hours and 53 minutes away from kickoff to open the Big Ten college football season. Illinois is traveling to Madison, Wisconsin to take on the Badgers, who are ranked, I believe, number 14 in the country right now.
They have moved number 14, and the spread has moved to 19 and a half.
From 23 and a half, keep in mind.
Yes.
So, yeah, you're driving up there. I'm staying here. I wrote the preview. You're going to get the recap because you're a hero and I owe you some coffee. What's your plan for tomorrow?
Here's my plan. So I am very blessed and grateful I get the chance to go cover this game in person. Really excited about that. It is supposed to be like rainy and 30, so that sucks.
During the day?
I think at night too. Well, to me, like 20 at night then.
Gotta be kidding me.
But that's in Madison though, not here. I don't know what's going on here. Anyways, I'm really excited. My plan, I'll probably leave here around 11:30, get there around 2:30. I'm going to attempt to do a story about what game day is like down in Madison this year, or up in Madison, I guess. Getting to talk to some Wisconsin people, hopefully tonight or tomorrow morning, about what game day would be like last year and compare it to this year. Wisconsin's kind of a rough area right now for COVID, so I'm sure we'll see a lot of like partying and tailgating that shouldn't be happening. But I'm excited. I get to watch this Illinois football team be the underdogs like they usually are in Big Ten matchups. But I think we've talked a lot about this weekend on the podcast over the weekend. We think it's going to be a way better game than
the experts are predicting.
Well,
some experts.
Most.
Yeah.
Most national experts.
So just so you know, it's going to stop raining about noon tomorrow in Madison. So when you get down there, it's probably going to be decent, like mid 40s, probably 30s for the game. So you'll be okay. You'll be comfortable in the press box.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a lot of, like you said, we've been saying the national experts don't think this is going to be close. There's a lot of experts, Gabby, that I was reading about. I remember I read someone, and it was either Yahoo or New York Times, or I'm sorry, CBS, that was like, oh, Illinois fans are saying hammer the over. Like, I'm hammering the under. I think this is going to be 30, 40 points. Like, they think this is going to be like an Illinois-Iowa game from a couple years ago when it was 63-0.
Well, that wouldn't be the under.
Aren't we saying hammer the...
Yeah, but the over would mean like more points being scored.
You know what I mean. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, that they think that Wisconsin's just going to blow out Illinois. The 19.5 isn't fair to Wisconsin. I remember I was reading...
They're going to cover.
Yeah.
What you're trying to say.
Yes, Wisconsin's going to cover easily.
Wisconsin's going to cover by a lot.
Yes.
So they're going to beat Illinois by over 19.5 points.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, yeah, exactly. I'm not a betting man. I'm not sure what it's called, but there are people that think that. I remember reading something like a preview on one of Wisconsin's athletic pages that said Illinois' offense is still a force that you don't have to worry about. I just don't think that people are paying enough attention to Illinois sports right now, or specifically Illinois football and the additions that they've had, because if anyone paid attention last year, bowl team, 6 and 7, you haven't lost anybody besides a couple of running backs. You've replaced them with good ones, have another year of your good QB and more receivers to throw to.
Maybe everyone's too focused on Illinois basketball to look at Illinois football, which would be a reasonable explanation as to why people think this offense is going to be good. If you don't think this offense is some sort of threat, I'm not saying they're going to go out there and light you up. Brandon Peters is not going to drop 63 on you. He's not going to do it. But,
Well,
maybe. But this offense is going to go out there and be competitive. Obviously, Wisconsin's defense is historically strong. They historically produce really good linebackers, things like that. Do I think they're going to come out and not be a force to like worry about? Not at all. They're going to come out strong. Brandon Peters is a confident man. He's a calm guy. He does not care. Like, he can listen to outside noise all day. He just doesn't care. He's going to go in there. I think he's going to do well. My biggest thing is and I've mentioned this before, have they had enough time in training camp and in preseason to build those receiver, quarterback, tight end, quarterback connections, because time has been limited. Obviously, the connection with Bebe is going to be there because it's been over a year. Probably Donnie Navarro, it's going to be pretty good. Trayvon Sidney and Peters didn't get a lot of time together. They were both injured kind of on and off. Casey Washington obviously played but didn't get that many catches. And then you bring in Luke Ford, Daniel Amater Bebe, two guys who he's never thrown to in a game. And then you have not brand new running backs because they've both played before, but new to the starting rotation together with Peters.
yeah.
So just a lot of factors that if they mesh together well and if they have that genuine chemistry, they're going to be a force you're going to have to worry about. But if they're all kind of all over the place and they haven't found that connection yet, yeah, this Illinois offense might look like 2-3 years ago Illinois offense.
I also read something that said the offensive line is still struggling, so that source clearly had no idea what they were talking about.
Yeah,
because
no.
whether you're biased or not, 4 out of 5 guys that could potentially get drafted in like a 4 out of 5 NFL offensive line, like I just don't.
No,
that's such a false read. You clearly have no idea, what you're reading.
If you're saying the Illinois O-line isn't good or isn't established or stable, you got to help yourself.
The analysis there, you're missing information. Yeah.
You don't even have to read that much to know Illinois' offensive. I mean, Illinois' offensive line is their strongest point.
Yeah.
I just wrote a story on that because they're incredible. I love the offensive line.
Me too.
They're funny. Alex Palczewski. I actually looked at the pronunciation in the record book today, which I have for you.
Thank you.
Alex Palczewski. He's so funny to interview.
He is.
He's a really good guy.
Doug
He's
Kramer's
funny.
he's like the same way. I
Yeah,
think.
Doug Kramer's a little more chill than Alex.
Yeah.
Alex just like will swear and like in like proper context, but
Yeah.
he's just funny. Me and Brendan did this the other day, and I wanted to ask you this.
Sure.
I asked Brendan, who is he most excited to see on the field Friday? It could be a returner. It could be a new guy.
Yeah, so I was actually just thinking about this. I have a very clear answer. Luke Ford.
Okay, mine
I
was
am
Beeson.
so excited. Marquez Beeson?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm most excited by far to see Luke Ford because he was throwing last year with the guys, even though he couldn't play because
For catching.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Thank you. Because he was totally screwed over with eligibility rules,
Yes.
but he has been practicing with the guys. He's been practicing even more this year. He's been raved about in media availabilities. Like people have said what a difference he's made already, how like well he's interacted with the team. We know he has a big social media presence. I think that Luke Ford is going to be really, really, really effective for Illinois. Not that Illinois didn't have good tight ends last year, but Luke Ford might be a different force to reckon with. He was a high recruit. He went to Georgia. Family got sick, transferred to Illinois. I think he's going to make an impact. I think he's going to score tomorrow for sure. I think he's able to block. I'm really excited to watch him.
I am too. Mine, like I said, was Marquez Beeson. Just because I think that's the easy answer because everyone's been so excited to see him play since he's been recruited here by Lovey and since he chose Illinois as his school, obviously with the ACL, or was it ACL? Or was it ankle?
I believe it was an ACL, but
some type of lower body injury last year. He just adds just straight talent to this defense.
Got recruited everywhere.
Except Alabama.
Except Alabama, that's right.
Straight talent. He's exciting. Brendan said Donnie Navarro, which I think is interesting because I'm also interested to see what kind of playing time Donnie gets because obviously going into last season, he was a walk-on, didn't have a scholarship. Or I don't know if he was necessarily a walk-on. I don't know, but he didn't have a scholarship, he'd be a walk-on. Didn't have a scholarship, got a lot of playing time, made some big catches due to a lot of other receivers being injured last season, which we knew was a big problem. So he proved himself that he can play at this level last year, but now it's, okay, can he fight for playing time with Bebe, with Trayvon Sidney, if Casey Washington emerges this season, if Luke Ford and Daniel Matabebe are going to be bigger passing targets for the tight end room. So I'm very interested to see how time on the field gets divided between these receivers and the tight ends, just any offensive weapon in general. I had one more question for Brendan, and I'll ask this to you too. Who needs to break out this year?
That is a great question. I'm going to go with the obvious answer here. I think it's Brandon Peters' time to shine.
Really?
I really
Okay.
do. I think that he was so highly recruited out of Michigan. I don't think that was a fluke. I think he was put in a bad situation. He was behind different guys. Shea Patterson was coming in. And then last year, like, we've said it a million times, Gabby, he had a good year. He just needs to be more consistent. He got hurt a couple times, concussed during the Minnesota game, concussed during the Iowa game. We all know what happened on that hit. He has more weapons this year. He's had a year in the system. He came in last year. I just wrote about him. He knew no one. He came in a month before the season started. I'm really excited for him. I really do think he's going to break out this year, and I think he's the person that needs to have this shining season. I think he's the person that will. Second, I'd go Amatter Bebe, Josh, because I think that he has the ability to raise his draft stock the most, and I just think he has the potential to, and we've all been waiting for it. But again, consistency is something with them.
We said literally anybody on the D line, but specifically Isaiah Gay, because he has not lived up to what he was supposed to be. And just this D line is obviously the weakest point of the team. So if they can strengthen themselves and elevate their abilities a little, I think this team could be even more dangerous. So yeah, those are my two questions for Brendan. So I just wanted to ask you, right before 24 hours before we're supposed to kick off.
Yeah, I'm really excited. All right, we're going to take a little break here. When we get back, we're going to do a little bit more breakdown between the offense and defense on the teams. That's next on Illini Drive. Welcome back to Illini Drive. As we said earlier in the show, Illinois travels to Madison, Wisconsin tomorrow night to take on the number 14 Wisconsin Badgers. Wisconsin is famous for its running game. They've had some running backs that have done really well, including their latest, Jonathan Taylor, who is already finding success with the Indianapolis Colts. This year, they don't actually have like a set number one starter. They have a senior and they have a sophomore that I believe are named as co-starters. It's Nakia Watson and Garrett Groshek. I don't think I'm saying that properly. Mm-hmm. That's a little weird to see, Gabby, to Wisconsin's offense to not have, set pieces, especially at the running back position.
I bet you 2 games into the season, there will be an established guy.
I agree. I totally agree.
But I guess it is weird going in for Wisconsin to not have that number one guy like they have in the past with Jonathan Taylor. My assumption is they're going to give them an equal opportunity to prove who is better game time.
Which I think will go to Illinois'. Illinois will benefit from that because my money would be on Nakia Watson end up being the starter, the younger one. But if they're getting an equal opportunity, that could help Illinois' D-line and defense as a whole throughout the game, right?
I agree, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. And then Graham Mertz, who is a redshirt sophomore, I believe.
Redshirt freshman.
Redshirt freshman, yeah. He was the highest quarterback recruit in 2019, and he is coming in for Jack Cohn, who was injured in training camp or something like that. So he's getting his first start ever tomorrow night.
Yeah. I'm excited just to see if Illinois' defense could kind of pick him apart a little, give him a nice warm welcome to the Big Ten. But I don't know. I mean, he clearly is a great player.
Yeah.
We obviously haven't really seen him much. He was featured in a few games last season, but we haven't seen him as a starter and as like the main guy. What makes it a little difficult is Illinois doesn't have tape on him, really. I mean, they said they've been studying his high school film, but
it's a different system.
You have to think Wisconsin has completely changed obviously not changed his abilities, but strengthened his abilities. He's probably put on a lot more muscle since being there. He's a different quarterback than he was in high school. I get the point of studying his high school film, and I think that's great. But they're really not going to know what to anticipate till they get out on that field, which if he is good and if he does come out strong, that's going to crush Illinois. If you don't even know what to expect from him, and then he comes out as like this lights out guy, it's going to be a bad game.
It could be. And we know he has the talent. I think he's a pocket quarterback, so he can clearly throw the ball. There's a reason he was the number one recruit in 2019. That said, on the other side of the ball, Brandon Peters, a senior, second year starting with Illinois, and then in the backfield, Mike Epstein, who has played. Obviously, he's had 3 season-ending injuries. Just pray that he stays healthy. And then Chase Brown, who redshirted last year, and he played a little bit, but he didn't get to start, didn't get any real playing time. So Illinois also kind of has 2 people in the backfield that they're going to use, plus maybe a little more. We know like Jakari Norwood, Karan Cumby, I think might get a little bit of playing time.
Might get some action, yeah.
Do you think that there's a clear advantage on offense behind the offensive line, or no?
No,
I don't think so either, because. Well, actually, Peters was a really high recruit, but he wasn't that high. If I had to choose, I'd give the quarterback advantage to Peters by a little bit.
Same, and I'd probably give the running back advantage to Wisconsin.
Me too.
Even though we don't really know too much about these guys. We don't really know how well they can play as starters. And not to discredit Epstein or Brown, but you just got to trust what Wisconsin does with running backs.
We also haven't seen anything spectacular out of Epstein yet.
No, and it's unfortunate, but he's been hurt. When he has been on the field, he's been solid.
Yeah.
But you can't really put that up against a whole season's worth of work, which we haven't gotten. And like you said with Chase Brown, haven't gotten a full season of work at the Big Ten level, obviously transferring from Western Michigan. Big Ten football is a different battle. It was just different. And we know that he was featured in a couple games, whatever. They seem really confident about their abilities, but obviously that's a given. So I don't know. I think the way they're able to work in maybe Jakari Norwood and Kyron Cumby will be a big factor because there's just a ton of speed in that backfield. And I think that's the biggest thing that Illinois was missing last year was just the breakaway attack. And if you can, like, maybe once or twice during the game, put Kyron Cumby out there, little handoff to him, and he could just find a hole. And he's kind of small. Like, he can just fit through the little
Use
cracks.
Use him for one play to get some yards.
To get just a big chunk of yards. It'll be interesting. I think, obviously, we've talked about 1,000 million times. It makes my head hurt when I say this, but this is Lovey's best team. He has a lot of offensive weapons, and obviously, with Rod Smith running the offense, both Smiths, Lovey and Rod, they haven't had this much offensive talent. So it'll be interesting, kind of comparing the start talks about Underwood having so much talent in different lineups. Like, Rod and Lovey can do a lot with this offense. So it's just about, did they come up with the right game plan? Did they come up with the right plays? Are they going to... And then it obviously comes down to execution, but which I think will happen for the most part. I think Brandon Peters will execute pretty well. But they can have some fun with this offense. Yep. And I hope that that's what they're doing. And I hope they're able to run some different things than they weren't able to do last year. Just some fun plays. I want to see some trick plays. Not like trick plays, but
some fun stuff. Maybe, yeah.
I just think they have a lot of weapons to work with.
I agree.
You have a lot of different threats. Some of them are unproven, yes. But if Luke Ford can prove himself right away, if first quarter Luke Ford can be like, yep, I'm the man, give me the ball, that just opens up so much.
I bet he will.
You have to focus on those tight ends now. And then if Mike Epstein or Chase Brown can get a couple big carries, okay, now we got to stop the run game. Opens up the field for Peters.
It'll be really important for the running backs to open it up. I wrote about that a little bit. If they can open it up and get the D-line pressing like that, or maybe like the linebackers shifting in, and then Luke Ford, Amatter Bebe, whoever it is, that will really open up the field. I like that. There's also Wisconsin, fantastic defense, phenomenal. Yeah. One of the best in the country, probably top 1 or 2 in the Big Ten, along with Penn State, maybe Ohio State. You never know with those guys because all those 5-star recruits, they're going to be good. There's no doubt in my mind Illinois will be able to score the ball at least a little bit. They'll adjust. They'll do whatever they can. Cal, with a really good defense last year in the Red Box Bowl, they scored on them. They scored on Wisconsin last year at home. Even in that terrible rainy day against Northwestern, they still put up some points. I think that their least points all year was 10 against Iowa, and that was at Iowa, who plays phenomenally at home.
Yeah.
Peters got hurt.
They were in the game.
They were in the game.
The defense kept them in the game for a while.
Exactly.
And then offense wasn't able to execute at the end, obviously.
And they have the new weapons this year. No doubt in my mind, Illinois will be able to put up points either way. Let's move to the outside a little bit. Receivers. Wisconsin lost some receivers last year. After last year, I should say. They returned their best tight end, I believe, but they don't have a clear number one. I think they're number 2 left as well. Illinois is the opposite. They brought pretty much everyone back and they added pieces. Wisconsin did too. No huge names. What do you think there?
I think the Wisconsin receivers, there's on one of their depth charts, their top 4 wide receivers are all seniors, but who barely saw any catches last season. Or it was just short catches, nothing really big. Their main guys who caught their touchdowns are gone now. So I think Illinois has the clear advantage at wide receiver. And I think just to kind of counter that, I think our Illinois secondary is a lot stronger this year. Obviously with Beeson healthy, you have Nate Hobbs in there. You have Tony Adams back at safety. You have Derek Smith. You have Sidney Brown, who battled some injuries last year too. So I think the secondary, Illinois secondary, is going to probably be a step above Wisconsin's receivers unless someone just breaks out and has this phenomenal game, which I'm not anticipating.
It's hard to predict something like that.
Yeah,
it's really, really hard to predict one of their receivers who, like you said, they're seniors. They've barely seen the field. Have they gotten like 4 or 5 combined starts or something like that? It's a
their main
very
guys
low number.
were Quintez,
Yes.
Cephas. I might be saying that wrong. And then Aaron Cruikshank, said that wrong as well. Those are their top 2 guys. I'm pretty sure Quintez, I can't say his last name. I'm pretty sure he had like double the amount of touchdowns than any other receiver.
Yeah.
So they're going to be missing them. They're going to be missing their top 3 offensive weapons. Well, 4, including Jack Cohen.
Some people over there think Graham Mertz starting is a blessing in disguise.
That's what we'll see. But they're obviously their 3 top playmakers on offense are gone. So that's not to say that this Wisconsin offense is going to be bad by any means, because it's Wisconsin. They always have really, really solid backups that could probably be starters at like a Northwestern. You know what I mean? So I don't think Wisconsin's offense, or more so their receivers, are going to come out and just suck. It's just about kind of what I was saying with Peters and Illinois' receivers. Have they had enough time to form those connections in practice? Do they feel confident in Graham Mertz? Does he feel confident in his receivers? I think there's going to be, at least in the first quarter, some chemistry maybe issues.
I totally agree.
Just like actually hitting his, Graham Mertz hitting his spots and those receivers being in those right spots. But I have to think it's going to be pretty smooth sailing on the offensive end after the first quarter for Wisconsin.
I'm not even going to ask about the O-line, because their O-line is very unsettled. Nothing against them, but it's not Illinois' O-line.
No, clear advantage.
That said, Paul Christ, I believe, is how you pronounce his last name. I've seen it a million times. He's been there since, I believe, 2015. He is a fantastic coach. This guy is one of the best in the game. Obviously, a little bit more of a defensive mind, but this is one of his teams. He's not going to, we're not going to see an offense put up no points. Let's just be honest here. They're going to be good no matter what. Yes, there's a lot of unknowns on their offense, almost in every single position if you think about it. But I don't expect Wisconsin to get shut out. I think they're going to be at home. It's night. They're nationally ranked for a reason. They have a great head coach. They're going to be good. I think the only advantage Illinois has clearly is the O-line. Then again, their defensive line is a lot better than Illinois', which is what we're going to get into next, because it's harder to judge a defense because we've already gone over the offense, specifically like the secondary. They could be equal in talent. Illinois could look miles better because Illinois' receivers might be a little better than Wisconsin, something like that. Defensive line, I mean, it's kind of like the offensive line on the other side. I think Wisconsin has Illinois beat by miles. Do you have anything to add for the line?
I mean, I was literally going to make the same comparison you just did, because Wisconsin's defensive line is a pretty like veteran group. Like their NFL potential, their experience too. They've all started games. They have one guy who's a sophomore, which is kind of similar because Verdis Brown just got the last starting spot, right guard spot, and he's a sophomore. And then the rest are all juniors and seniors. I don't have anything else to add. They're gonna, but it's gonna be. That's why that matchup
is fantastic.
Illinois' O-line and Wisconsin's D-line is gonna be incredible.
If they give Peters time to throw, I think
whoever wins that battle is who
could win the game. I totally agree with you. Let's move backwards a few feet. The linebackers. This is where it gets interesting on the defense. Wisconsin lost their 2 best linebackers to the NFL. 2 fantastic football players, by the way. Awesome football players, Pro Bowl potential. They're gone. Illinois returns Milo Eifler and Jake Hansen. Any advantage there? It's hard to say, right? Because they have all these high recruits, but Illinois has a little bit more experience.
Yeah. Wisconsin's linebackers are younger. But, like, think about who they've played behind. And all these linebackers come to be NFL potential. Obviously, my heart, soul, TJ Watt going to
Is he your defensive juju, by the way? Do you like him nearly as much as you like Juju? Like, is he your defensive player? Or?
I mean, he's my favorite defensive player just because he's freaking amazing.
Okay.
But not because, he's just insanely good. But I think the kind of mantra that Wisconsin lives by is for the linebackers. It's like, next man up, let's go.
Yep.
Next man who's going to the NFL.
It's like Alabama with their secondary, their
yes,
line.
it's just like LSU receivers, like literally just keep them coming, keep pumping them out. I mean, they have a senior outside linebacker, Noah Burks, and a junior inside linebacker, Jack Sanborn. Not sure how many. I'm pretty sure Burks redshirted, hasn't really had too much playing time, I think. But I don't know. So you have a couple. Sanborn is said to play. He played a bunch of games in his freshman year. Hasn't taken a redshirt year. As a true sophomore last year, he led the team in tackles. And he's been named to a number of award watch lists. So Sanborn seems like the guy that is going to be your biggest threat.
Yeah. I agree.
So, I mean, while they're not the most experienced, they're clearly proven at this level. And like people said, they just pump out great linebackers. So, clear, as much as I respect Jake Hansen, Milo Eifler, and I think they're solid Big Ten linebackers, advantage is always going to be Wisconsin in that area.
I couldn't agree more. We already talked about the secondary. We said it's pretty even. It depends on the receivers. Yes, can we agree on that?
Yeah.
So before we go to break, we made a prediction on the podcast, Illini Sports Podcast, if anyone listens to us. I don't know about you, Gabby. My prediction has changed since then. I wrote a preview. I did some research. I've talked to people. My perspective on the game has changed a lot over the last week.
What was your initial?
My initial prediction was 37-24 Wisconsin.
Mine?
Yours was 34-24.
Okay.
Which is the same as Jeremy Werner's, by the way. Jeremy Werner has 34-24 Wisconsin.
Really?
Gavin Good and Maria Guzman. I don't know if I'm Guzman.
I think it's Guzman.
Who wrote right for 24. They both have Illinois winning. Gabby, I don't know. I really don't know. Looking at these matchups, I really just think that Illinois could come out here and surprise so many people, but
I think so too, but there's no way.
like, look at this percentage on ESPN. 93.9% chance Wisconsin wins. They're at home. I get it. There's no fans. I don't care. It's Camp Randall Stadium. They're experienced. Nothing against Lovey. I love you, dude. But Paul Christ, fantastic coach. Gabby, as we did on the podcast, give me your rundown of the game and your score prediction.
My score prediction is going to stay the same. I think it's Wisconsin 34-24. Okay. And I'm not shying away from what I think is going to happen. I think Wisconsin's going to come out a little shaky, and I think Brandon Peters is going to set the tone early. As we move into late second quarter, third quarter, it's just going to lean more towards Wisconsin. As time goes on, fourth quarter, it's going to be game over. Like, beginning of fourth quarter, game over.
All right.
I think Illinois is going to start off hot, Wisconsin's going to start off cold, and it's slowly going to move in opposite directions as we go on.
Here's what I think.
Okay. Tell me what you think.
First quarter, Illinois is going to dominate. It's going to be like, maybe not in the score, but just like time of possession, field.
Okay.
People are going to be like, hey, now, some live betting going on there.
Okay.
In favor of the Illini. Second quarter, pretty much the same thing. Third quarter, Wisconsin's going to own it. They're going to come out of halftime and they're just going to go. But Illinois is still going to have a little bit of a lead.
Okay.
Fourth quarter is going to be a fantastic quarter. Both fan bases are going to be pleased. I'm going to take, my final score is going to be 31-27, and I'm going to take Wisconsin.
Okay.
But, Gabby, you really don't know how tempted I am to say Illinois.
I'm so tempted to say
if
Illinois.
Illinois was ranked 25th or Wisconsin was barely unranked, I would be saying Illinois. But that little number is bothering me.
My head is saying Wisconsin. My heart is saying Illinois. Because I just feel something that this team is just going to be really good.
And like, Gabby, here's the problem. We say this every single year.
I know. That's the thing. My brain is like, they do this every year.
Last year, after game 2 or 3, Carson, assistant sports editor, he was smelling roses to JP. He was smelling roses. Every single freaking year, we feel a little something different. But I don't know, Gabby. I really think that this could be the year. I'm going to take Wisconsin, but I'm not happy, and we could come back, or we could be there tomorrow night.
Please prove me wrong.
And please prove us wrong, Illinois football. We are ready for you to explode. It's 2020. It's a weird year. Illinois, get good at football. We're going to take a little break. Next on Illini Drive, we're going to preview this weekend's NFL games as we always do. That's next. Welcome back to Illini Drive. As usual, to end our Thursday shows, Gabby and I will be previewing this week's NFL slate of games. Not going to lie to you, Gabby.
It's brutal.
It's kind of brutal. There's like 3 good games, including your
Both our
team.
teams.
Kind of the Bears.
I would
we'll
say
see.
your game is good.
So we'll start with tonight's game. This is like the toilet bowl of the week. New York Giants at Philadelphia Eagles. Don't give me a score prediction or a winner. What do you think is going to happen here? Trash, yeah. Carson Wentz and Daniel Jones.
I don't have anything. I will not be watching.
I don't know. I mean, this is like...
I just want us to have a good Thursday night game to bet on again.
The only good Thursday night game so far this year was the very first one between the Texans and the Chiefs, and then Bears-Buccaneers. That's been it.
Yeah.
You could argue Bengals-Browns, but I really don't think so. Yeah, this is an awful game. Beginning of the noon slate on Sunday. Not a bad game. Definitely not a great game at all. 2 pretty similar teams. Detroit Lions at Atlanta Falcons.
I think it'll be a decent game.
Yeah, I definitely do too. Atlanta finally got their first win.
Yeah. Lions aren't horrible, but still, like, I wouldn't be interested in watching this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. I think that Atlanta's going to heat up. I like Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Kevin Ridley. There's so many weapons. There's no excuse for these guys to be bad.
Let's just go through our score predictions now.
Sure. All right. Well, first one then. New York Giants at Philadelphia Eagles.
Low scoring game. This is going to be like 2017 Eagles, I guess.
I'll go 13-21 Eagles. Atlanta and Detroit.
Atlanta. 20.
You seem real thrilled about these games.
23-21. This is just not a too bad game.
Atlanta can score points. I'm going to go 31-20 Atlanta. Rematch of that Thursday night game we were talking about. Cincinnati hosting Cleveland.
This could actually be a good game.
This can be.
Because I think Cincinnati, first win. They have 1 win now. They're feeling okay. I think Joe Burrow's great.
I think he is too.
He just needs a no line. But I might go Bengals.
Okay. What's your score?
24-21 Bengals. Win by a field goal.
I'm going to do this because I hate them. I'm taking the Browns. I'm going to go 37-24. And I really hope I get proved so wrong because I like Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield's probably my least favorite player in the league.
Yeah, we stomped on him.
All right, this, in my opinion, is the game of the week, Gabby. Steelers at Titans.
2 undefeated teams.
Yeah, this is the game of the week, 100%.
The game I cry. This is the game I cry. But I'm picking
you've been crying for
I'm picking
6
the
weeks.
Steelers.
You've been crying for 6 weeks.
Why?
I've seen your snaps. You've been crying during the game.
I cry every week.
Okay.
It's nothing new. I'm taking the Steelers. Give me 6-0.
All right, what's your score prediction?
Ooh.
I got you there.
I wasn't expecting that question. 28-23.
All right.
Weird score. 28-23. 5-point game.
The Titans almost lost to the Texans after destroying the Bills at home. I predict this will be a game like it was 2 weeks ago. I'm going to take, sorry, Gabby, I'm taking the Titans 38-25.
You're going to put 38 up on this defense?
Derrick Henry, don't mess with him. 38-25.
That's disrespectful. I'm going 28-25. Titans have the ball. Last drive of the game, they have to score a touchdown. TJ Watt stomps on Derrick Henry. Straight up stomps on him.
All right, if that happens, I'll get you 2 Starbucks coffees.
Okay, well, I'm not giving you anything, but
that's fine. I don't care. Yeah, Tennessee 38-25.
That's
Let's go to the next game, still at noon. Why is this a noon game? That's weird. Carolina Panthers at New Orleans Saints. This is actually a pretty good game.
Decent game. High scoring game probably. I'll go Saints.
I think
Saints defense gives up so many points.
Yeah, Drew Brees is kind of. I love Drew Brees, but he's like on the verge of being washed. I'm gonna take the Panthers in this one.
Ooh.
Upset. The Saints keep finding ways to win really bad games. I think that Carolina's gonna bounce back from their loss against the Bears, and they're gonna beat New Orleans. I'm gonna go 26-17.
See, I'm gonna go Saints 34-31.
All right, so high scoring. This is probably my blowout of the week. Buffalo at Jets.
Brutal game. This has to be like 38-21. 38-17.
I'm going to go 37-6.
Wow. Okay, I'll go 38-17.
I'm predicting a 30-point win for Buffalo.
How are the Jets going to score? Give me 38-10.
Oh, okay.
38-10.
I'm going to go 37-6. Yeah, Buffalo all the way. Terrible game. This is another awful game. Dallas at Washington.
Are
there this many bad NFL teams right now?
I live in a universe where Washington football team does not exist.
Yeah.
To me, they're a myth. I've not watched one of their games this season. And I don't even feel bad admitting that. I don't feel bad. You would have to pay me to watch one of their games this season. And that's just the fact of the matter.
Feel bad
So
for
I
them.
will not be watching this game.
No.
And I think the Cowboys will win 24-13.
Even with Andy
Actually,
Dalton
the Cowboys'
starting.
defense is horrible. 24-23. Barely win.
All right, I'm going to do it, Gabby. This is going to be a tie. This game is going to finish in a tie.
How dare you? How dare you?
This game is going to finish in a tie because I can't pick either of these abysmal football teams to win. Finishing off the noon slate, Green Bay, who just got destroyed by the Buccaneers at the Houston Texans.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
Because everybody now, first 5 weeks.
This is what happens.
Aaron Rodgers, MVP. One bad game. It was a horrible game. Don't get me wrong. One horrible game later. Is Aaron Rodgers washed? Is Aaron Rodgers done? No, he had one bad game.
See, this is what happens. It happens
with
with Tom Brady every year. It happens with LeBron. Not as much LeBron every year. They'll have one bad game. They're a little old. People will be like, oh, are they good?
Oh, my God, they're too old
And then
to play.
they'll pull a Michael Jordan. They'll take it personally, and they'll blow the team out. I got the Packers by 25 in this one.
Yeah, Packers are going to win big.
I'll go with 35. Pretty basic score, 35-21.
I'll go 31-24.
All right, let's start off the 3 o'clock slate with an actual pretty good game. Tampa Bay at Las Vegas.
This is a good game.
Yeah,
Las Vegas is decent. Bucks are coming off a nice win. I'm gonna go Raiders.
Yeah, I'm also gonna take the Raiders.
But by 2 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Raiders. I think it's gonna come down to the last drive. Tom Brady's gonna do something similar they did against the Bears and not be able to score. I'll go 23-21 Vegas. I like Las Vegas in this one.
I'll go 27-24.
Yeah.
I've said that score
really like the Raiders in that game.
Another blowout here.
Kansas City at Denver. Hey, Drew Lock's back. He played last week, too.
And
yeah, that's true.
picked up the Chiefs defense because my Colts defense is on a bye for fantasy.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Man, disrespect.
Sorry. I think this is going to be a 36 to 32 weird score. 32-20.
All right.
The weirdest score.
I think it's going to be a little closer. I'm going to go Kansas City wins, but 27-25. I think it's going to be a pretty close one, actually. Okay. I got a feeling about my man Drew Lock. San Francisco 49ers at New England Patriots.
Patriots by 3.
San Francisco by a touchdown.
28-25.
31-24 San Francisco. Last 3 o'clock game. Jacksonville at LA Chargers. Justin Herbert's my favorite rookie. So
Same.
I'm going to take the Chargers just because of that, even though they're known to blow games. But I'll go 26-18 Chargers.
I'm going to go 28-14.
All right. I like it. Sunday night football, Seattle at Arizona.
not a bad game. At Arizona, so there'll definitely be a little more competition there. I feel like the Seahawks have to lose.
Yeah.
I might go Cardinals.
I was also considering going Cardinals, but if you go Cardinals, I'm going Seahawks.
Okay, I'm gonna go Cardinals. I'm gonna go like 27-24.
I really like that pick. Seattle's coming off a bye. I'm gonna take Seattle only because you took Arizona. Seattle's coming off a bye. They've kind of had Arizona's number in the past. I'm gonna go. They take care of business. Let's go 34-25 Seattle.
Nice.
And then the last game of the week, Monday Night Football, Chicago Bears at LA Rams.
See, I think this is a good game.
Cordell Patterson, your new guy. You got his game-worn gloves.
Yeah, I'm a fan now. I'm a Bears fan now.
Heck yeah. Music to my ears. You're speaking my language.
I said that. I said that a couple weeks ago. I'm not a Bears fan, but like I'll root for the Bears now.
Yeah.
I will root for the Bears now. Mainly because it affects the stable living environment in my apartment. I'm unfortunately gonna have to go with, you know what? No, Bears. Give me Bears. Give me the Bears.
Okay.
Give me the Bears.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bears. What's your score?
I don't know. Bears defense is good. What's your score?
I'm gonna go Bears. Let's just do it. Let's do all the 2020 predictions. I'll go Bears. Like, it's a really tough game to predict. 26-21.
Nick Foles, that speech after the game last week. Nick Foles is about to have like the best game.
26-24 Chicago.
I'm going 31 Chicago, 24 Rams.
That's bold. I got 26-24.
Nick Foles is doing the thing this week.
All right. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, that's going to be it for today's show. Gabby and I will get you guys Tuesday, hopefully barring any illnesses that we've had before. Illini play tomorrow. It's going to be a great game. From Gabby and Josh, this has been Illini Drive.